Hey, what's up, guys, ladies and gents, YouTubers, Instagrammers, Facebookers, Twitters, whatever you call them. Listen, man, I want to talk about having too much gear, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about this. I'm actually being honest about this. So, I have a lot of gear because I can afford to buy a lot of gear because of my 9-to-5 gig that I have. And sometimes, excuse me, sometimes what happens is you tend to find yourself looking at Sweetwater or Guitar Center or Reverb and going, hey, this looks pretty cool, I'm gonna buy this. And I always do it. And one of the things is I try my hardest not to pull the trigger on something that I really like, that I really want. So how do you stop from G.A.S, Gear Acquirement Syndrome? Many of you have probably heard that term. I think it's funny, but it's the truth. So one of the things I try to do is just enjoy what I have. And sometimes that can be very hard. Because I always look for that new piece of gear that's going to give me that new sound or that new innovation or inspiration or whatever, right? But a lot of times creating music, the creation of music can be stifled by having too much equipment. And I mean that. I really do mean that. That can happen. So, what I usually do is I basically will take 1 or 2 pieces of equipment and I will create with just those 2 pieces of equipment. It's not easy. Minimalism sometimes is the best way. Because I do have too much. Sometimes I think to myself, this is crazy. Why do I have all this stuff? But then I'm grateful. I truly am grateful. I've been blessed that I'm able to purchase the things that I like. So I start off with 1 or 2 pieces, and then I'll bring in a 3rd or maybe a 4th, or sometimes even a software synthesizer, because there's a lot of great software synths out there, and I own a lot of them. And that's when I start to create. I do the creative process, because somebody said to me one time, they said, how can you possibly get writer's block, Jay, if you have all this equipment? And it can happen. Sometimes things just aren't flowing. The mind isn't clicking. There could be something going on in your personal life that you need to straighten out, take care of, or ignore. Or there just might not be anything there. And a lot of times when that happens, I walk away. It's not easy. But I go do other things. Like, it's a beautiful day out today, and I'm going to go outside and enjoy the day. But then again, my creative process usually starts at night. During the day, I usually shoot video. But at night is usually when I get creative. So, the question I ask is it bad to have too much equipment or gear? Or is it a good thing? A lot of the guys that I listen to musically and I follow on YouTube and stuff, a lot of them have a lot of gear. A lot of the performers and artists that I listen to personally in the electronic industry are minimalists. They're very minimal. They use 3-4 pieces of equipment and that's it. So, I mean, what it all comes down to is, the question that I'm putting out there is there never enough? Or is it time to stop? And that's one of the things that I'm going to pose out there. And you guys can, put it in the comments. And I'd love to hear about it. Love to hear from you guys. And girls, sorry. I mean guys as a whole, but that's not, guys and girls, ladies and gents. I'd just like to hear from you and what your opinions are on too much gear, not enough gear. It's just a question. I'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe to my YouTube page. Thanks for listening. Peace.